Hey guys, a lot of people have asked me to show how I clean my sharpening stones, and namely my ceramic sharpening stones, because that's normally the hardest to get clean. And I've also noticed that the finer the grit, the harder it is to clean the stone. Like, this is what I would consider a fine ceramic, and as you can see, it's very dirty. Um, but the fine ceramic stones and medium stones aren't nearly as hard to get clean as the ultra fines, like this. If I can find the focal point, which is about right here, I think. As you can see, very dirty stone. It'll continue to cut in this condition right now, but it won't do its job nearly as well. And trust me, it looks worse in real life than it does on camera. I'm looking through the viewfinder right now, and for some reason it doesn't look nearly as dirty on camera as it does in real life. So I think we're just going to go ahead and clean these stones and do it on camera for y'all's benefit and my benefit as well, because I'll have clean stones. All I use is a little scouring pad like this. I know that's a floral pattern, whatever. An old toothbrush if the stone is irregularly shaped, like the Sharpmaker stones. And my secret weapon, which is Barkeeper's Friend, which is a powdered abrasive, sort of like Comet, but better in my eyes. And it is an abrasive, but it's not that powerful. So you don't really run a risk of damaging anything. It just cleans extremely well. It's cheap, and you can get it most anywhere: Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, places like that. So it's fairly accessible. So I guess I'll just get to it. First, I'm going to clean my large, or actually I'm going to clean this fine ceramic. I'm going to wet it on the other side of the sink and then clean it in front of the camera. Actually, no need to wet the stone. I'll just pour some abrasive right here, wet the sponge, and then just wrap it around it and just start cleaning. And it doesn't take long, honestly, to cut through the metal. Depending on what knife you're sharpening, I found that different steels stick to the ceramic in different ways. Some are tougher to get out than others. Really couldn't tell you why that is, and I'm not even sure that that's actually what's happening. It just kind of seems that way, so take that with a grain of salt. You do need to use the Barkeeper's Friend liberally. I know I'm going to get a ton of jokes about the motion I'm making right now, but doesn't matter. Y'all are all familiar with it. As you can see, it's almost perfectly clean already. Thing I've noticed about the ceramics is you can get them clean, but I'm not exactly sure you can get 100% of the metal out of the ceramic stone. It just seems like some of it hangs around. No matter what you do, it just seems like some of it hangs around. Oh shit, I had a way to break my stone. Clean my hand off and go ahead and zoom in on this stone and show you. As you can see, much cleaner. If there's any metal left behind, then it's very minimal, and it obviously won't affect the function of the stone. So that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to set this aside and call this one done. What I do to dry them is I'll just pat them dry with a paper towel, and then on it I'll go take I was about to say, honestly, I cut myself off. I'll take a blow dryer and just pretty much blow dry them till they're dry. I mean, they heat up, and once they get hot, the water evaporates really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and do the large ceramic stone now. I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle the Barkeeper's Friend directly on there and wet it again. pick the stone up and just work on it. I'm going to try and do one section and leave the other half alone, just so we can do a little comparison. Also notice that the rougher the scouring pad is, the easier it is to clean your stones. So keep that in account, because this one, I've actually never used this scouring pad right here, and it doesn't seem to be working as well as the other ones. I'm going to go ahead and show the side-by-side comparison. As you can see there, this side is almost completely devoid of metal, and this is still loaded up. And again, it looks much worse in real life. It's a much more drastic contrast in real life. Get you back in focus. So I'm going to go ahead and just clean the rest of the stone. Again, apply some more Barkeeper's Friend and just get to work. And you're not going to hurt the stone, you're not going to hurt the surface of the stone or anything like that. This abrasive is nowhere near that powerful. The ceramic is much, much harder than any abrasives that could be in the Barkeeper's Friend. And this is actually one of the more difficult stones to clean. It just doesn't seem to want to get clean. Use all sorts of motions, circular, linear, anything that will work. And then sometimes I'll just take a toothbrush and wet it and just go over it with a toothbrush just to see if I can get any last remaining little bit of steel out. I think I'll call that good. There we have a clean stone. A little bit of steel left in the center of it, but it's not enough for the camera to pick up, and it's honestly nothing. I mean, it wouldn't affect function at all, like I was saying earlier. So go ahead and get a paper towel and just dry it off like this. Give you a close-up. If I could get it in focus. There it is. As you can see, pretty clean. Not much metal left in it at all. Without this Barkeeper's Friend or Comet or something of that fashion, it would be nearly impossible to get these stones 100% clean. It would take a lot of scrubbing and a lot of elbow work. So having these stones, or these sponges loaded with this Barkeeper's Friend makes a huge difference. So lastly, the Spyderco triangle stones, probably most people can relate to these. I'll just take some powdered abrasive, put it on there, and then wrap the sponge around it, and then just do the same motion as I used with the fine ceramic rod. And if you see that it's not cleaning that easily, then you probably pushed out all of your abrasive, so you need to load it back up. You can hear it when the abrasive is working. It has a sound to it, and it honestly doesn't take much to get these stones clean. These get cleaner a little bit easier than the ceramic bench stone, the ultra fine. This is the same grit as that big bench stone I just did, but it does seem to clean a little bit easier. And honestly, if you see a spot that's stubborn like this, rub it with your finger, because your finger pressure along with the powdered abrasive can normally get out any little bit of steel that remains. So that's also something to keep in mind. I know this probably isn't the most exciting video I've done, but many people have requested it, so I figured I'd just go ahead and do it. You can see a big difference in these stones, I think. I would hope so. I'm going to go ahead and do the last one. Sprinkle my barkeeper's friend in here. And this stuff does last a long time. I've had this can for over a year, and I clean my stones fairly regularly, so. You will ruin the sponge doing these triangular stones, because you just can't help but to hit the corners and chew your sponge up. Honestly, if you find yourself having to use a lot of elbow work or elbow grease, just add more powder abrasive, add more barkeeper's brand, because if you have enough powder, you honestly don't need all that much force. So that's it, guys. That's all it takes to clean your ceramics. Honestly, not much to it if you have this stuff. Can't recommend it enough. Really good stuff, and it's also pretty cheap. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helped you out, and I'll see you next time.